They say that life is a gift. From the moment we are born, we are taught a singular universal truth. Be grateful just to be alive. Count your blessings. Things could be worse. We are told that existence itself is precious, that simply waking up each day is something to celebrate, that survival is an achievement worth honoring. Society hands us a script. Here's the part no one talks about. Push through the hard times. Stay positive. Keep going. But what happens when existing itself becomes the thing that exhausts you? What happens when the weight of simply being alive feels too heavy to carry? Right now, across the world, there is a silent epidemic. It's happening in millions of homes, in countless minds, yet it remains one of the most misunderstood experiences of our time. People are not just tired, they are tired of existing, tired of the constant effort it takes to be a person, tired of waking up and having to do it all over again. To the outside world, it looks like laziness, like someone who just needs to try harder, get more sleep, think more positively. But if you look closer, behind the appearance of functioning, there is rarely a simple story of sadness or laziness. Instead, there is a profound, complex psychology of depletion. Why do people actually feel this way? Is it a character flaw? A sign of weakness? Or is it something deeper? Is it a reasonable human response to a world that has become unreasonably exhausting? In this video, we are diving deep into the psychology of existential exhaustion. We will explore the invisible weight that accumulates when life demands constant performance. We will examine the difference between depression and this particular kind of soul-deep tiredness. And we will understand the toxic patterns that make simply existing feel unbearable. If you are struggling with this exhaustion yourself, if you wake up already tired, if you feel guilty for not wanting to keep pushing through, this is the explanation you have been looking for. This is the truth behind the tiredness that no one talks about. Let's begin. Existential exhaustion almost never begins with a dramatic collapse. It begins with erosion. Slow, quiet, almost invisible to everyone, including sometimes the person living through it. For months, even years, everything looks normal from the outside. You go to work, you answer messages, you show up to gatherings. But beneath the surface, something is wearing down, layer by layer. Psychologists call this cumulative depletion. The alarm goes off and you are already making decisions. What to wear, what to eat, whether you can handle one more day of pretending you are fine. Then come the emails, the texts, the expectations. Every interaction requires performance. You have to be pleasant. You have to seem interested. You have to regulate your tone, manage your face, suppress your irritation. Then there's the emotional labor no one sees, the mental load of remembering everything, planning everything, the guilt when you do not respond fast enough, the anxiety about money, the awareness of global problems you cannot fix, the pressure to be optimized, to exercise, to be productive. Rest is not rest anymore. It's recovery so you can produce again tomorrow. Individually, these moments seem manageable. Together, they become a psychological climate of exhaustion. Over time, your body responds. You wake up tired even after sleep. You need to psych yourself up for basic interactions. Socializing leaves you needing days to recover. What you once called just getting through the week becomes chronic depletion woven into your nervous system. This exhaustion does not happen because someone is weak. It happens because they have gradually run out of capacity, out of emotional reserves, out of reasons that feel meaningful enough to keep pushing. This is the true beginning of existential fatigue. Not a sudden breakdown, but slow depletion. To the outside world, people experiencing this often look functional, even successful. But that is the illusion of the swan effect. Calm above water, frantically paddling below. What no one sees is the weight they are carrying. There is the performance of being okay, every day putting on a mask, smiling when you don't feel like smiling, saying "I'm fine" when you are not. Then there is the decision fatigue. Life is an endless series of choices, and each one costs energy. What to eat, what to wear, what to say. By noon, you have made hundreds of micro decisions, each draining you further. The emotional regulation alone is exhausting. You can't just feel what you feel. You have to manage it, suppress it, redirect it. There is the pressure to optimize every aspect of your life. It's not enough to just exist. You have to be improving constantly. Then there is the comparison culture. You see everyone else seemingly thriving, and it makes your own life feel insufficient. The financial anxiety sits in the background, the awareness of global crises you cannot fix. These are not dramatic traumas. It's the constant hum of existing in a world that demands productivity, positivity, and purpose while offering diminishing returns. And then one day, someone asks, "How are you?" And the real answer, the one you can't say, is "I am tired of existing." Not suicidal, just tired. Tired of the effort, tired of the weight, tired of waking up and having to be a person again. The weight looks invisible only because we have normalized carrying it. This is not weakness. This is a reasonable response to an unreasonable amount of strain. Many people hear "tired of existing" and immediately think depression, and sometimes it is. But existential fatigue is its own phenomenon. Depression says nothing matters, with numbness and hopelessness. Existential fatigue says everything requires too much energy, while still caring, often caring too much. You are not numb. You are overwhelmed by the sheer effort of being. People with existential exhaustion often still function at a high level outwardly. They go to work, maintain relationships, appear fine, but internally, they are running on fumes. The engine is on, but there is no gas left. Sleep does not fix it. Vacation does not fix it, because the exhaustion is not about needing rest from activity. It is about needing rest from existence itself. Someone with existential fatigue often still shows up, still performs, still maintains the appearance of okay, but internally they are empty. Depression often makes functioning nearly impossible. The key difference matters because it changes what kind of help is needed. Depression often responds to medication and therapy. Existential fatigue requires restructuring your actual life, reducing demands, finding meaning that does not cost everything, giving yourself permission to exist without constant productivity. If you are exhausted by existing, you are not broken. You are responding to real conditions that would exhaust anyone. Some exhaustion is physical, some is emotional, and some comes from a deeper place. A soul-level tiredness from not knowing why you are doing any of this. Existential exhaustion often stems from what psychologists call the meaning crisis. Previous generations had clearer narratives. Religion provided answers. Community gave belonging. Today, we have infinite options and no clear direction. You can be anything, which somehow makes you feel like nothing you choose is enough. The old structures have crumbled. The milestones that once marked progress are now either unattainable or unsatisfying. We are told that if you work hard enough, you will find happiness and meaning. But here's what actually happens. You achieve the goal, and for a moment you feel something. Then it fades. The emptiness returns. This is the empty well. You keep showing up to life, hoping to draw meaning from it. Maybe this next thing will make it all make sense. But every accomplishment ends the same. Brief relief, then the emptiness creeps back. The tiredness is not from failing, but from succeeding and still feeling hollow. Most people are not tired because life is hard. They are tired because it feels pointless, because the story doesn't work anymore. This is not philosophical indulgence. This is genuine grief for the meaning you thought you would find and have not. If existential exhaustion is so unbearable, why do people endure it for years without making changes? The answer lies in the hope cycle and toxic productivity culture. The hope cycle works like this. You tell yourself, once I get through this week, I will rest. Once I finish this project, I will slow down. So you push through, and sometimes you reach it.
But then something else appears. The finish line moves. The cycle repeats. This is conditioning. From childhood, you are taught that hard work pays off, that suffering is temporary. But real life is continuous. The demands do not stop. Toxic productivity culture reinforces this. Busy is a badge of honor. Rest is viewed with suspicion. The culture tells you exhaustion is noble, that grinding is admirable. And if you can't keep up, you are told you are lazy. So you internalize the message. You believe your exhaustion is your fault. Many people stay exhausted because they have been taught that wanting peace makes them weak, that needing less makes them lazy, that protecting their energy makes them selfish. When someone finally walks away, it's not because they stopped caring. It's because they realized the cycle was never going to change. And staying meant disappearing piece by piece.
When someone says they are tired of existing, people often panic. But often, what they are really saying is, I need to exist differently. Distance is not always dramatic. Some people strip back. They look at their life and ask, what can I let go of? Sometimes it's a draining job. Sometimes friendships that require more than they have to give. Letting go feels like failure, but the alternative is worse. Others use gray rocking, becoming neutral, unreactive. You stop engaging emotionally with things that pull you in. Gray rocking is not coldness, it is self-protection. Then there is minimalism, reducing life to essentials. You stop saying yes to things you do not want. You become ruthlessly selective because your capacity is so limited. Recovery from existential exhaustion requires something society does not want to give you: permission to exist without purpose. Permission to just be, without producing, without achieving, without justifying your space. You cannot heal while still in the conditions that made you sick. At some point, you have to stop, fully stop. Recovery looks different for everyone. For some, working part-time. For others, completely redefining their relationship to work. The shift is internal as much as external. Letting go of the belief that you need to earn your existence. Distance is clarity. The moment someone realizes the life they have been living was never theirs to begin with. For many people, admitting exhaustion is the beginning of an existence they were never allowed to fully live. Once you stop forcing yourself to keep up, something unexpected emerges. Clarity about what actually matters. Reclaiming your life is slow, tender rebuilding. You learn to listen to yourself again. Your body has been sending signals for years, but you ignored them. Now you start small. You notice what makes you feel worse and what makes you feel slightly less terrible. You begin making adjustments, declining invitations, setting boundaries. Each small act of self-preservation feels terrifying at first, but over time you realize protecting yourself was never the betrayal you thought it was. Healing also means breaking the cycle. Many adults step back with clarity. This ends with me. They refuse to pass on the toxic productivity, the belief that worth must be earned through constant output. They begin to parent themselves with gentleness. If they have children, they offer them a version of existence where worth is not conditional. And along this path, you discover chosen family, people who see you, who do not need you to perform. Relationships built on mutual respect and emotional honesty. People who love you because they choose you. Reclaiming identity is an act of courage. Creating a life based on your actual capacity is an act of liberation. And together, they form the foundation of a life no longer defined by depletion, but by the simple ability to exist without it costing everything. In the end, being tired of existing is not about being broken. It's about being human in a world that demands too much. You can be grateful for life and exhausted by it. Both truths can exist at the same time. Feeling this way does not mean you are weak. It means you have been carrying weight that was never yours to carry alone. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to admit that the life you built is not sustainable. You are allowed to exist without constant purpose, without relentless achievement. You are allowed to rebuild something quieter, smaller, truer. If this video made you feel seen, I want you to know your exhaustion is valid, your struggle is real, and you are not alone. There are thousands walking the same quiet, heavy path. You deserve to exist without exhaustion. You deserve rest that actually restores you. And if the life you are living does not offer those things, you deserve the space to build one that does. If you would like to stay connected, consider subscribing. We explore the hidden corners of the human experience here every week. If you feel comfortable, share your experience in the comments. Sometimes the most healing thing is realizing someone else understands. Take care of yourself. You deserve to heal. You deserve to exist without it costing everything.